Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it's tremendously difficult to actually argue on this bill because there's many misconceptions as well as, the fact that people may think that this is really going to be detrimental to the vulnerable population. And, it's kind of counterintuitive when you look at the history of this bill and what's been going on in government that you would think that, yeah, why wouldn't this hurt the vulnerable population? Mr. Speaker, let me just start off by saying I think that, after hearing the passion that's not only in the chair's voice of Human Services, but on a previous bill, you heard the passion of the chair of Environment Committee. And what I would like to share is just that we too share that passion for doing things better, for making the right decisions. It's just that we see it differently. So I'm going to start off, hopefully if you have some patience with me, Mr. Speaker and colleagues, with why I feel so strongly about this bill and being against this bill. I've taken in a lot of emails and read them. I've taken a look at all the testimony and tried to study the programs. And of course, I'm not sitting in the eligibility offices, but I think that I understand it pretty well. Mr. Speaker, the premise for the EPOD modernization program, first and foremost, was to provide better services to the vulnerable, and I'm going to explain why. Mr. Speaker, I wanted to get to some of the points that the previous speaker talked about Title VI, federal law of 1964, and providing language services. Currently, and I have this from testimony or from email from other folks, that they do say, eligibility workers, that they do say that this service is a call-in service where they get interpretive services through contract, because they can't hire, all the different languages right then and there and have them sit around in order when people need them. So they call in, they get this contracted service by telephone. Mr. Speaker, that will not change. You will still be able to call and get the interpretive services by telephone. Mr. Speaker, let me just first, let me just first bring up this particular version. Some may think that this version of the bill is a compromise, as the previous speaker has said. It actually isn't. I believe this version of the bill will kill the existing EPOD modernization plan. This is no compromise. By limiting the pilot project to Honolulu County, the ability to help with the backlog of applicants that exist on Maui and Kauai will not happen. Right now, that's a federal law that we are not abiding by. We are supposed to have the applications be processed within the first 30 days, and instead it's going on longer. The people who are against the EPOD, or Eligibility Processing Operations Division modernization plan, I believe, and through whoever's fault, really do not understand how the new program could and would work. Some people who are against it are looking at all the people who apply for public assistance as incapable of using a phone or using a computer. This is simply not true, Mr. Speaker.